which is against my better judgment, but this is my process. I brought 2 paintings in for today to share with you guys. This is my latest, and I think my greatest piece. I'm really happy with where this went, but I lost it 3 times. I have what they call the F moments. If you're French, it's PH. But that's a very, very complicated looking painting, but everything I do when I use my tape method, I don't draw first. That's straight blue tape. For those of you who haven't seen me do this before, this is what I use from Home Depot. And I start with a blank sheet, just like you saw me this morning. I hand sanded, like you saw me earlier, between the intros. I hand sand with 60 grit sandpaper to give the paper a little tooth in those areas. And what happens in those areas when you paint through it, the paint holds. It's like a printing plate. And so a lot of the pigment, not necessarily the color itself, but a lot of the pigment, the base of the color, will hold in those areas. So you get this really interesting etched effect. This has the same thing, same process. The only difference is I didn't tape this. This was done live out at La Jolla on one of the coldest effing days I've ever been out there. It was 50 degrees and the wind was blowing 15, 20 knots. The drips that you see on the painting coming at an angle, this was straight up. That's how hard it was blowing. And it was cold. But I got a nice painting. In fact, the edge that you see here that's kind of funky, again, blue tape, I just tore it down the middle. The easel kept blowing over. That's how much it was, you know, like an idiot. I'm like a golfer. It's just a little rain, it's okay. But I had to tape it down to the easel, and then I had to bungee the easel to the ground. It was bizarre. But it was worth it. I got a nice painting of it. I'm going to replicate this today, or do a sister to it. This is just too many hours. This was 3.5 hours taping. And as you see from the little layout there, I've been taking pictures step by step so people get what I do. Everything here except the background and the water was taped out first. And I either tear or cut the tape once it's on the paper. I don't do it ahead of time. The idea is that I've been called an intuitive painter, which means that I'm not concerned with layout, perfection in what I'm painting. I want to paint the emotion of what's there. So I don't care about the architecture. It doesn't matter that the boats can't work. I've had people look at my boat and say, you know, it won't work. Well, it's behind plexiglass. It's not going anywhere, so it's fine. The fun backstory on that painting, though, was I did this at the studio at the house, and my dad came in. He comes over every week or so. We have coffee and stuff. And he saw it right when I put the initial color down. These 2 colors were my very first 5-inch brush. That's why I tape, by the way. Because once as you see from those photos, when I put a 5-inch brush down, it's not something you can control really well. We're letting him rest today. But this is the brush I start everything with. So, yeah. People look at me like, really? It's kind of worse for wear. It's at the point where it's sort of falling apart like me. But that's how I start everything that I do. And that included this one. All the water that you see there, that was the very first stroke I put on the thing. Again, because I want the movement, I want that excitement going through. When I used to paint realistically, I used to get a lot of attention for the details, but they wouldn't hang on the painting. They'd see it for a minute or so, and then they'd walk on. They'd admire the technicality, but there was no soul. I got soul. This painting, I timed a lady. She was there 9 minutes in front of that thing. That's a long time at a show to be sitting and looking at a painting. So I'm, like I say, I'm really happy with it. There's a lot going on, and this painting is, instead of taping everything off, because I'll normally come back in once I remove the tape, I'll put more tape down to control it and that type of thing. I took a rigger brush, which is a little, it's a little brush, but it's got a really long ferrule to it, and it'll hold a lot of paint and you can draw with it. So everything in here, I drew an outline in light gray first, like I just watered down some, I'm using what they call neutral tint. I'd never heard of it before. And I saw Keiko Tanabe do a demo. Instead of black, it's like it looks black, but when it goes down, it's got kind of a reddish tinge to it. It's very interesting, because I don't like to use black when I paint. I like to mix. But I used that as my outline first. Then I came back in and I started in-painting and scratching away. And there's some Mr. Clean magic eraser I use at the end, because I screw up and it's like, oh, I should have left white paper. So I use this. You can get it at Walmart in the house cleaning section. This has become my best friend lately, and it gives me things like the lighthouse beam. Again, again, everything was painted, I taped it off, and I sponged out some of the color. You just have to be careful with it, and you'll learn this in the workshop. Everybody signed up already, right? We got 4 people so far. Yeah, well, you will be, because I don't show up for less than 15 people, just so you know. Can you believe that? Okay. I love it when I still have credits. Same thing with the lights. If you want to look at this later on, the lights were done that way, and then this wave was done that way as well. This section of the painting was one of my F parts, and I lost it completely. I could not get the sand to work. And my dad came over and he goes, well, throw some sandbags in there. And I went, well, that's interesting. I like that texture. So I painted sandbags in it, and it still didn't work. So it's another F. I go to bed. I come back the next morning. I look at it and I go, yeah, it's not too bad, but no, it's not working. So I mean, it looked like a self-portrait. It was terrible. So again, I took the magic eraser and took out everything down there, and you can take it out pretty much to white. There's always a little bit of tint. You can't get the watercolor completely out, but this will take most of it out if you do it right. And then I went back in and repainted, and I did tape that section that you see, that lighter section there. I taped around, or I taped in that section where the lightness is, and then I spattered with a toothbrush to give me the texture. I'm working the textures and stuff now. So that said, any questions before I start? I'm not married. I like long walks on the beach, you know, that kind of thing. No, you can't look at me like that when I say something. That's when I lose my concentration. Okay. We have an understanding? Sure. Okay, good.
Chuck, what paper did you use?
This is, I always use 140 Arches. Arches is the best watercolor paper I've ever found for my technique. And as you saw with this 60 grit, you can really beat it up and it doesn't phase it. I've tried Fabriano and some of the Winter and stuff. Nah, nothing. Let's see what else. That's the only thing I really spend money on. And I buy all my supplies, everything from Jerry's Artorama online. That is the cheapest place. Cheap Joe's is not cheap. Blick, none of those. Art Supply Warehouse, they only match Jerry's when they have a really good sale on shipping. That's it. So if you want to save some money, I mean, I buy watercolor paper there for $3.14 a sheet when it's on sale. Everywhere else it's at least $5 and above. So, anyway, I've been told they've got new walls, so I have to be careful. But I didn't tell you I'd probably be throwing brush paint back. But you're on the carpet though. I'm gonna do something. We'll figure it out. And I never worry about drips and things because it's part of my style. I like Mother Nature coming in and helping me with the painting because she's way better than I am. And I work pretty much directly on the canvas. This is a guy's palette. We never clean, you know.
Some of the ladies don't ever clean them either.
I don't talk to them. I like clean ladies. Now the reason I like to mix directly is because I count on all the patterns and the things that Mother Nature is doing for me. While I'm not, like, I'll be talking. You'll find times when I'll sit here and I won't paint. I'll just talk to you. That's my little way of letting things dry for a minute.
You're not using that big brush you told us you started with?
Yeah, I'm not. I got respect for the walls. I'll do it once. Next time, when they got a little air on them, I will take them out. I have a huge reputation over at Foothills in the Mesa about that. I think they finally got the paint off the wall, but I keep telling them, I said, that's just me, so, you know, get used to it.
Like we repainted the wall.
Yeah, which I think is what they did here because there were spots up above. So I was going to make a brass plaque and they went, no, we'll repaint it. Anyway, that you can see now where the sanding marks are. That's a wonderful way of. I decided I wanted to do it in the flow of the wave. Again, it gives that extra action to it. Makes it really interesting. And then you can come up just a little bit because I want the wave to have kind of an edge, but not too strong. This kind of thing. Again, I don't care right now. This is just laying work. For a little bit over here, just because I can. Have no clue what that'll turn out like.
Do you always paint on easel or do you paint
flat.
Pretty much. I like painting straight up because again, it gives that character. If you paint like the Quiet Mooring is the name of that painting. I did that on a slight angle. Like I take the 2-inch tape and I'll put 2 of those rolls together after they're empty, and that's a good angle because you still want a little bit of flow. But I turn my paintings a lot as well when I'm working on them to control. Like I've got some nice drips going here, and it's already establishing a base. And I've got some flowering going on, which is kind of interesting. I don't know if I'll keep it all, but it's kind of cool. And then the sky, one of the things with watercolor you'll find is that it will dry 50% from what you 50% down from what you put on there. So, you know, you just don't have to worry. Oh, now see, that's why I don't look. Isn't that cool? I got clouds. It doesn't take any skill to paint in watercolor. It doesn't just make some noise and let it do its thing. And let's see, let's put a little darker. It's normally the other way, but you know, this, yeah, that'll work. Take a brush again. We'll just sort of it's drive-by painting. I like it. I just ruined that brush. Oh well. Okay, so then I pull out, this is a mop brush. I have no clue what size. Never ask me any technical stuff. I don't care. You see how big it is, go find it. That's one of the reasons I got started with a 5-inch brush, because a lot of people were asking me when I first started back in 2008 what color I was using and that type of thing, and I just really didn't care. And so I had a full, what they call a full pan watercolor set, which is about that big, and all the pans are like 1 inch long by 1/2 inch deep. And I pulled out my 5-inch brush, and that's what I painted with. I didn't have any tube paint. And I did that because they'd say, well, what color are you using? I go, the left row. It was great. But I was smart enough ahead of time to put all the cool colors one place, the warm colors, you know. I'm not as dumb as I appear. Well, kind of. A little bluer water there. Yeah, I got some interesting stuff going on. That one drip in the middle is probably a little more than I needed it to see. So again, just, we don't care. You can paint with cloth too. And if I decide that I don't want it there, again, I'll take this guy. They need to be clean. That's the tricky part with this. You go through a lot of this. I can pull that out. Like if I want to see a little bit more on the front there, and maybe in, yeah, it's kind of nice in there. We'll just let that go. I like that line there too. That's kind of cool. But see, this is what I mean about keeping it clean, because now it's kind of dirty and it's just going to do that. But you saw how much that took out of there. And again, if you have questions, ask me as I'm painting, because I can concentrate. All right. The other thing that a lot of artists have trouble with is value range, lights and darks. And a lot of watercolor people will teach you to not only lay out stuff, but to start light and work your way down to the darks. As you see, I sort of blow that all to hell. I don't really care. And I don't care mainly because being intuitive, quote unquote, because of my background, which I always call mileage. The more you paint, the better you'll get. I don't care what kind of style you're working in. It doesn't have anything to do with how Bob compares to me or I compare to her. It's how you express individually. And a lot of people look at quality this way. I don't. I look at quality this way, because everybody's going to bring something individual to their paintings. And when I teach, I work with you within your skill set. Nobody in my classes is going to paint the same, and nobody's going to paint like me. Just because they're, you know, you have to go to therapy and stuff afterwards. No, it's really expensive. And again, no fear. You know, I know there's rocks there, but I don't care. Wow, that's actually kind of cool. I love this medium's cool. It's like, whatever. And we'll pull out, the 1-inch brush is like what everybody uses. We'll throw some of that neutral tint in there. And I just sort of push the painting back and forth with the darks and that type of thing. see, statement. These are like character lines with like an Edward G. Robinson kind of character, you know. And already I've established that it's the beach and there's a rock thing, and I could stop if I was an abstractionist right about there, put a really great mat on it and stuff. But you guys would be really pissed that I didn't finish anything. So the next thing I'm going to do is we'll establish the shoreline there, and I use what do they call them? See, now I'm trying to remember a color. It's your fault. You wear white to my demo. You're a brave woman. Navel's yellow. That's where the mop brush really works great. Little Tom Fong action in there. You guys know who Tom Fong is? Amazing painter. He's like this tall. This is great. He and I make a great demo team together. I'm going to try and get him involved in some things. I'm opening a gallery down at NTC, Liberty Station, this year. It's going to be called the Dallas Point Gallery. There's 3 of us that are putting it together. And we're going to hold one day and 2 day workshops down there on the weekends, where you can just come down. The gallery's too small. It's only 700 square feet to get people in there. But we'll be out on the pea gravel and the grass there doing some fun stuff. But it's not plein air. You know, it's just we have to paint outside. So I don't do landscapes and stuff. It's not my forte. Which, great. I only say that because that way if it comes out bad, I've got an excuse. I told you. Okay, and let's see. Let's just make some of this up. I'm going to leave the guard tower out just because I can. Yeah, baby. Okay, we're there. Watercolor is all about timing. It doesn't have anything to do with skill, because the better you think you are, the more you want to control it, and you get screwed every time. Watercolor is controllable to a point, but not all the way through. It's not like oil and acrylic where you're pushing this paint around, telling it where to go, like a whippy wife kind of thing. This is, you've got to work with the wife, and she has the power. Is that clean? Okay? I'm trying not to look at them too close. Dottie, I love when Dottie shakes her head. She's such a nice lady, but there's times when it's like, yeah, that's even much for me, Charles. And an award winner by herself. And where's Hazel?
Yeah.
There you go. You just got 2 awards in the show, right? Which show was it?
Oh, I got one too, sorry.
Who? You got one too? You're such a braggart. You should be sitting up in the front when you talk like that. Are you kidding? Well, congratulations.
You were there.
I was? Oh, watercolor? Oh, I never pay attention. I'm looking to flirt. I don't care about the show. I only go there to pick up women. It's working so well. I demo alone. What's the old one? Oh no, I drank alone. That's what I did. Yeah, what kind of woman would put up with you? It's amazing. Wow, that's a big ass surfboard I got in the middle of the wave there. Let's just, whatever. So far, so okay. And we'll throw a little bit of sand in there. That's where this dirty palette works, because I can get a nice neutral. Ooh, gray sand like Hawaii. Okay, we can live with that. Establish some of the wave action here. Bring it in a little bit. That's kind of interesting. But again, that's where the mop brush works really well. Wow, poor thing. Just like putting me on my head and rubbing me across the asphalt. Put a little water up in there. Pull some of that color back. Just by doing that a little bit, I can pull color into there and get a nice blend going. Let that dry for a little bit. Any questions so far? Everybody confused? How many people are signing up now? Yeah, okay, you're brave. It's like, man, you guys are making me work for it.
Chuck, are you doing it?
Yes, I've got 5 days so far. In fact, Shaya just called me today. She goes, I know we've only got you from noon to 2. Would you mind doing the rest of the day? I would, not a problem. So yeah, if you go to my website, if you grab a card on your way out, my website's on here. There's a link called Catch Chuck Live, and it will tell you where I am day to day. I don't do the bathroom time thing, but I mean, it's not a Facebook page. So, but but it will tell you where I'm appearing, doing live demos, like today's listed on it, for example. Okay, so let's see, left pink. And I usually only use about 4 or 5 brushes. This is another one, a nice little round that works nice. A lot of Kolinsky hair, which is Russian. But I've used squirrel hair and stuff too. It's just, I don't know, brushes, some of these brushes. I bought a brush once for a workshop with Jerry Stitt. It's $170. And I thought, you know what? I watched Jerry demo with it and I thought, man, that's a great brush. What I learned was Jerry, it wasn't the brush. So I took it to his workshop and he showed us how it worked and everything. So I took the brush and I'm going, $168, that's a lot of money. So I laid out the paper and Jerry came by to look and see what was going on and he goes, you haven't painted anything yet. I had the brush laying on the palette. And I'm going, no, for $168, the thing should paint itself. We were instant friends. And again, character lines are extremely crucial to a good watercolor. Most of the heavy-duty watercolors you'll see know how to do this with really nice accuracy, if that's their style. There's other painters like John Salmonen that when you look at John's work, everything looks realistic. It's amazing. But when you really look at his work, it's all abstract shapes. There's not a real item in there at all. It's the way he puts puzzle pieces together. It's amazing. And let's see, we got that X thing going there. I never worry about composition or anything. I can always trim the piece. Well, I do worry about composition. That was a lie. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to lie to you. But now it's just a matter of creating. Oh, and I don't have my glasses on. No wonder I'm kind of. I'm old. But it's nice because everything was blending, and I'm going, no, that's too hard edge, man. Here it comes. Ooh, fun. I like that. That worked out well. Let's throw a little bit to the top. Bring that through. The spots and stuff, again, those are character things. It's like all this, all this stuff down here. This makes it way more interesting than the stuff I've really concentrated on. Well, there's no real concentration here. And that's kind of like there. That's where I'm controlling it. Okay, and because of the time, we'll make this kind of an abstract expression thing, where I want the little red roofs in there, but I'm not going to take the time to do the architecture. So we'll do like a Carol Thomason thing. Oh, and we gotta put a palm tree in there, huh? I mean, it is La Jolla after all, Chuck. And let's see, and palm trees just, that's just a little character. That's way off in the distance, so you don't need to draw every palm. Again, we're suggesting stuff. And now I am looking at it going, well, how do I work the palm trees into an area and make them work? And it's funny too, because it's like, well, those are like banana palm trees because they're all green yet. You get them at Trader Joe's, they're not ready to eat. But that's just the initial wash. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to do what they call charging, which is where I just drop a little color in there and I let it paint itself with a little help. And we'll come in and do a little character study. This can't just be a drippy looking thing. The last time I was out of La Jolla, the wind was, it was that 40-foot wave day a couple years ago, and the waves were crashing great. It was just, Mother Nature was really angry. And I don't think it was because of the way I was painting. But she really had a tooth that day. And I actually had mist on the watercolor. I was up at the parking area, and I was in the same exact spot. And where these rocks are, the surf was up that high. It was destroying the beach. And it would hit, and all the mist would go above me. It was kind of cool. But the problem was, when you work in watercolor, when the sea hit, I got trees. I'm going, what the hell do I do with the dress? And that's what I decided to do. Now this is working kind of interesting. That's even better. Again, no fear. If you have fear with watercolor, you're done. Just stop. That's what I'm going to teach in the watercolor workshop. We're going to do what they call free painting. This one, even though I've allowed you guys to draw in the past, there's no drawing in this one. You're going to do the same thing I'm doing here. bring a picture with you, and we're just gonna go. And I'm gonna make you start on a larger sheet, or if you work in acrylic, you can be there as well, but you probably won't get as much out of it, just because acrylic you control, right? But I've seen acrylic painters get this kind of action to things. Now we're gonna come in with that Naples yellow, and we're gonna do a little bit of glazing. I've established my design, which are all the character lines here to give you a little bit of movement stuff. You know it's not water because it's got the cricks and crabs and stuff. The water's kind of funky, but who cares? You still got the motion coming in here, and eventually, like, this is really interesting up in here, and it makes it move back from what's going on here, mainly because this is cleaner color and it's lighter in one way. I'm not a big proponent of reds come forwards and blues go back. It's a misnomer. It used to be true, just like Pluto was a planet. I know, I feel really old. They changed my solar system on me when I wasn't looking. Like, what's with that, guys?
You ever have a painting that you don't think you can salvage and you throw away?
No, I've never done a bad painting. Never have. This one's close, but I've never done it. It's funny when they all laugh like that. It's true. I've never had a bad painting. Yeah, I turn them into Christmas cards. I turn them into like 5x5 squares. And I just did one for my brother-in-law. It's his birthday, and I didn't have enough money to give him for his birthday, so I made him a homemade Christmas card. He's like an ex-FBI guy, so he won't appreciate it. But I made the envelope and everything. It was a painting this size, and I made a 5x5 envelope. It has a sailboat on the front. It's really cool. It's a piece of art. And it took me like 4 hours. I don't like him that much. But yeah, I mean, that's why I can answer that question like that. And it's not about believability. I could care less what you guys think of me, obviously. Which is why I'm alone and have kitties. Okay, same glazing techniques here. You see we're starting to get some interesting areas going. We'll just let that, just a little water, no biggie.
Chuck,
Yes?
this picture that you made, did you have a picture of reference that you used?
No, it's all out of my head.
And did you have like a little rough draft that you drew out
Nope.
before? No?
Straight tape. What you see at the top is how I started. Yeah, I liked the idea of a lighthouse, so I started there. And then I put the roof line in, and then everything else. The hardest part was stuff like this. Like I say, that's why it took 2.5 hours to take. I have to fill everything that's not going to have the initial color on it. This water down here was originally that color. Yeah, it was cool. And the reason that this stayed as bright as it was when I told you my dad came over, the first thing he said to me, he says, you know, I've been looking at your latest paintings, they're all kind of dark. Are you okay? Going, no. But I went back to my portfolio, the last 5 or 6 paintings that I'd done, which were all award winners, which is cool, but they were all going what I call thick color. You know, this is thick color to me. That's not dark. It's just, you know, a psycho thing in my head. And this is thick color. That's not dark to me. It's that richness that you get. It's like Phoebe wearing pastels. Ain't gonna happen, you know. Love her ex-wife. Oh no, we're still married, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I love Phoebe because she doesn't know how to file paperwork.
I'm not coming over.
What time is it? 24 minutes. Oh no, that's how long I'll be over. I'm sorry. That was nasty. Okay, and then again, the drips, I don't care that works, so we'll just make it part. I'm following the sanding maybe. You know, again, no real answers. I don't care because the watercolor is going to take care of me. It's my friend. Okay. That's not a mistake. It's not a bad watercolor, I swear. I think I just felt water. See, this is how I build up. This is all the glazing thing. This is really fun stuff. And again, if you're brave enough to just let go, this is the stuff you'll get. I have zero ownership of anything I do, except when I drive. When I paint, I never worry about getting a good painting. I never care that it's going to be what I think I see in my head, because that's always a spooky thought anyway. And it's all about letting go and just working through it. Yeah, this is working okay. Does it look okay from back there?
Yeah, great.
Yeah, cool. Ooh, who said great? Okay, move the front. Okay, now, it's not quite dry enough yet, but again, I'm moving. Now I'm going to come in and do what I do normally now, but I just started doing this. I'm going back into paintings once I've got the initial texture down, and I'm sanding out. This is a good example, this boat down here and where the waves are, that's sanded out. And I left some of that red, by the way, the original color, down there. Again, Dad came over and he goes, I don't like the red water, it looks like it's on fire. He's 83 and he's really opinionated. So I came back in, and this is about 25 glazes. It's what I did here just now, but that's about 25 layers of watercolor on top of the red. So what it does is, if you are careful enough and you leave the color underneath, it'll actually glow more so than, like over here, you'll notice that it's got that yellow-green kind of feeling. Well, it's because this was so red, and I wanted this not to be such a reflection of that, because it would have closed off the composition. Everything about this composition happened after I taped it. And that's why I do the taping, because when you sit down and you draw all the little sketches, like if you take a Jim Millard class, amazing teacher. He will do little black and white drawings, work out the values, work out the composition. I do all that up here while I'm talking to you guys. Okay? So Jim and I have a lot of mutual respect for one another, because we are the same painter. We just have a different approach of getting to the end. And with the blue tape, it gives you a really strong graphic, at least in my head. It gives you a strong graphic shape that is the abstract design of the thing. I don't care about the subject matter at that point. I know it's going to be boats, I know it's going to be docks, that type of thing. But then it's my responsibility to build it into a painting probably halfway through, where I'm just having fun with it and doing the whole sherbet thing. I love the sky of this thing because it's just tasty, you know? Reminds me of the old TG and White. What was the ice cream counter in Long's Drugstore when I was a kid. That was way before your time. Anyway, now I can come through, like I say, even though this is a little wet still, I can come through and take that out. I can add a little texture. Again, movement. I'm painting with this stuff. A lot of shows I don't get into don't let me in because they don't think I'm a transparent watercolor. It's like Watercolor West. They freak when they see my paintings because they think I'm doing, you know, all this girly water media composite collage thing. Or, no, I'm Chuck. What are you talking about?
What grit do you use on the one with the?
This is 60. I normally use 80, but I picked up the 60 because it gives me, I don't have to work as hard. You know, it's like filing your nails. You do it with a rougher one first and then a fine one, right? I don't do that. Donnie's going, But yeah, I just, you know, the less work, the better, especially when you're on a really tight deadline. And if you have an edge, like if I want to make sure that isn't sort of a hard edge, I'll just come through and I'll work it small, and I can fade it out a little bit at a time. You just have to make sure to get all the granules off that. Like, yeah, this is a good example. Just soften the edge a little bit. And it gives a whole new character to that part of the painting, you know. Okay, I think I've talked long enough where I can start putting some really cool. Everything in me wants to make this really happy on the left-hand side. So, thinking, maybe, stop doing that, Chuck. Again, remember, it's going to go down 50%, so you can put it on a little thicker than you think it should be. Oh, baby. This is my, oh God, yeah. Oh man. Ooh, the deep voice came out. That's a good sign. Yeah, the deep voice comes out, you know I'm there. Hey, but look at that, that's wonderful. And this isn't even my big brush. This is just my massage brush. I can text with this brush. I'm just making noise now. in a little water because I don't want to have it all, yeah, that's nice. That's pretty. I'm very excitable, can you tell? Yeah, that one, just that one spot, now all of a sudden we got a wholly different painting. A little bit down in there. Now it's funky because you're going, wait, those are rocks, they're not blue. Well, you're tying, now we're at the point where we're tying in a composition here. And I always work in triadic kind of color schemes where I want 3 areas to move your eye around. Because a triangle is always more interesting than a circle, and a circle is always more interesting than a square, blah, blah, blah. If you want that kind of stuff from me, go read a book. I have way too much fun to educate you guys. That probably wasn't a good thing to say, I'm trying to get workshop people. But the nice thing about working with me that you won't find with most instructors is that you're not only going to have fun, but you're going to learn stuff without knowing that you're learning. And I think that's a lot more interesting because a lot of the people I talk to with these 4- and 5-day workshops, they're exhausted. They're taking notes like crazy, and they want their $500 worth. Well, that's cool, but they don't have the soul in the thing. They're learning that guy's technique, like Ted Nuttall. I talked to Ted once. We're kind of buddies. Well, up until we had the conversation. And I asked him one time, I said, well, Ted, I really admire you. And I said, the thing I like about your work, even though I've seen it everywhere, anybody that takes a Ted Nuttall course paints just like Ted Nuttall. And I said, you're either the greatest teacher in the world where you can impart this style, or your style's too easy. He goes, you know what? I hadn't thought about that. He's got this great approach to painting people and stuff. He's a magician. But, he hadn't really thought about that kind of thing. And he goes, it's an interesting perspective you always have. That's the crazy part. I think about stuff differently than most people. And let's see, what did I just do? Let's see. It doesn't matter. Whoops. We'll put some waves in here. Oh yeah, baby. Sorry, Dad, going dark. Ooh. That's even thick. I'm liking that. Does that look okay from back there? It's kind of abstract, right? Oh, no, nobody's going, oh yeah. They're going, wait, I'm confused. I'm actually a little scared right now. Oh yeah, oh baby. No, that's good. See, it's deep sea, right? I threw a little vermilion in there. Yeah, that's dark. I mean, that's pretty dark. That's like a bad avocado. Let's see. Like an avocado with lingerie, kind of. I did that for you. But look how much deeper the ocean is all of a sudden. And I haven't had to paint deep water, and this thing's still really wet. But it's starting to look like a painting now. It's not just a watercolor wash. This is working really nice. I want to save some of this lighter color, so we're just going to take a lot of water right there. Whoops, not enough. See, I want to follow the surface. Follow the surface. That was really light. But, great, love it. Again, that's the fear thing. This is what I'm going to teach you in the workshop. You cannot paint a seascape in this workshop. You can only paint areas that represent a seascape. That's the whole idea. That's art. Like when you look at Phoebe's stuff, it looks incredibly real. But it's in pastel on like Conte paper and stuff. And when you look at the texture, it's all these little dots of oranges and yellows and stuff that make it feel real. That's her gift. Yeah. Okay, doing good so far. What are we doing? Oh, we're going until 2, right? Cool. All right. Hell, I can do Mexico now. Any questions when I'm letting this dry out a little bit? No? Oh, I hate the crowd. Those always make me really nervous. The presidents always come up to me afterward and go, oh, no, they love you. They were fascinated. Let's establish, oh yeah, baby. Let's establish some rocks here. I'm going in fairly dry.
I'm going in dry, Captain.
It's so bad. But I want that textural difference. I mean, they're rocks, so there's all kinds. I mean, and we're not even close to being done with the rocks. This is just underpainting. I'm building like God did, basically. It's like making a rock, but it's got to form under pressure all these years. So hopefully you guys won't do anything next week, because we're still going to be here. And I'm letting the watercolor tell me where the rocks are going to be. That's a nice rock shape right in here. So we just pick up the paint a little bit, and we'll bring in, we'll start building some boulders. By the way, Cantos Cove, I'm having a pretty good month. I sold 3 paintings this month. Cantos Cove went for $16.50 on the Fallbrook. That was nice. And it was cool because that is a very special painting to me. It was a painting I did in my paint classes over in Kensington when I was teaching over there. And the family's name is Cantos. It's this amazing Greek Orthodox family that allowed me to be in their patio and paint. It was a magnificent place to be. And the judge, he was 91 and had Alzheimer's. And 2 years ago when I started working over there, the family invited me mainly because he loved to paint. And they thought, well, maybe if you're here, and I taught the family for free, that kind of thing, you know, as a payback. Maybe if you're here, he'll relate to something. Well, every time I was over there, he'd wake up and he like had great painting stuff. But he also sat there and go, no, Chuck, no, it needs to be less white. Put some gray in there. But my best paintings came out of that class. So, thank you, Judge. Anyway, the painting sold 3 days after he died. And the weird part about my art is it always goes to the right home. It's really cool. I've got a very good track record with that, in that every painting I've ever sold went to the person that it was meant to be with, which I don't care how spiritual you are, that's cool. And the lady who bought it, evidently they're big collectors, very rich, blah, 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 2 houses. And so we're going, cool, future sales. Her father died the morning they were going to go pick it up. And I thought, yeah, you think, oh my God. But she goes, I got to talk to her and she goes, no. She goes, this is going to remind me of him because I sent him a picture of this when I wanted to buy it and he loved it. And I went, cool, I like it. So I'm pretty sure the judge was up there going, no, that's a great painting. I helped him paint it. So I don't care what you think, buddy, you got a good painting there. But art is very, I mean, for as
So you
hokey
can
as it's
stop right now, would that be an abstract, and actually, okay.
Yeah, well see, and I do that on purpose because I want to treat it less like, again, this is back to, I'm not painting a landscape, I'm doing a painting. And the abstract movement that you see is what makes a painting really interesting. Right now I've got nothing but water on this thing. Okay, that's why I put as heavy as dark a color as I do in this. Because now I can come through and I can really modulate. I can make rocks. Instead of drawing them all in, I can put an area that becomes that rock. That white's a little too much, so we'll bring that down. I want to put a little. Well, it's a rocky coast, so you got to give it. I'll do this sideways so you can all see what's going on. And the cool thing about these, I've done this view about 4 times, and it's more fun every time I do it because I know what the rocks feel like when you're out there. That's the one thing about quote unquote plein air painting, is that you get a real feel for the atmosphere, which again, that's what I paint. If you just do stuff in the studio from photographs, they're okay, but they always feel like a photograph. And that's the other thing I teach in the workshop, is how to get away from doing that. Use the photograph as an initial source of information, but change it up so you make it art. Otherwise, put it in a photo show. And this is where the blues and stuff are going to come in and really start singing, because we got the browns in there, but you see how it's linking in here. Okay, now we got to do something. Boom. Okay, Dottie, you're the wizard. What do I need up there? Oh, the coast. Yeah, good point. We got to put LA in there, huh? Except the tone she used, the coast needs to be white. There.
Yeah.
Oh, is it on my forehead already? Get it off for me. Thanks, Mom. Now it's worse, right? If I do this, I'm going to have all kinds of color.
Oh, pretty.
Yeah, it's pretty. I don't get called that very often. Yeah, that'll work. What do you think? Is that a good coast? Doesn't look anything like it, but we don't care because we don't know this is La Jolla. You guys are from Minnesota. There we go. Now, the reason I did that is because I'm working quickly and I wanted to have it a little drier because of what I'm going to be doing here. We're going to charge again. And that's another thing in the workshop. You will always get repetitive information from me. That's how you learn. I'm going to bring a little form to the coast there. I'll leave this kind of light because what I was after was getting a dark that we can work with here. I'm probably going to have to do something there as well. Oh, Mount Miguel. Yeah, I forget where we are. Let's see, what did I use over there? Choose the lighter one. We'll get that started here. Let's see. Put it right in. Whoop, hello. That's a really fat bird. Here. This guy here. That's Esther, I can tell from the laugh. I love when I get her to do that. It's like, ha ha. Ooh, good. Okay, we're leaving the palm trees out a little bit. The watercolors, again, wow, I feel like you're going through puberty. My whole voice is moving around. Oh, so you want to do it for me? Ah, I need the attention. It's probably just a blood vessel.
Blue blood?
Welcome to my dating life. Anyway, my point was going to be really interesting. Yeah, with watercolor, this is how Tom Fong works. I mean, Tom would have been, he'd have 4 paintings done by now. I'm just not that short. And I love Tom to death. He's amazing. And he's that really cool little Chinese guy where he always has that smile and you just want to kick him in the teeth. Smile on that, buddy. I have a great picture on my website down the way because I've got pictures from everything I've done. The only thing I don't put pictures up is if it's a fairly current show and I've got a piece in the show, I put a link there to the artwork because I want you to go visit my artwork page. And but I've got this great picture of me and Tom, you know, at his workshop, and I'm doing this, and I've got him by the ear. It's okay, Tom. And his wife Bonnie is amazing. She sits in the van most of the day and just reads a book. When Bonnie, that's just cool. Very sweet people. Okay, so I like the way that wash is working, so we need to put a little bit over here as well. And it's the upside down part. And we got to really control it. Speed's controlled, of course, by setting it flat. You know, it blends slower. Bringing it up, as you see, it drips and that type of thing. It's got some interesting stuff going on here. But see how not dark that is anymore? I mean, that's really come up a lot. But it's got some really interesting movement. I mean, I can feel the surf happening down here, which I'm going to leave this pretty, I love that. I'm going to leave this pretty much flat because I want the action to be in the front. This is what I was talking about with color. Everybody's so concentrated on, you know, warms are in front and cools are in back. Well, that's cool as hell, and it's in the front. But it's the motion that's in the front that's bringing it forward. So the more, it's like me. When I talk to Dottie like this, I'm in her personal space. Yeah, she loves this stuff. So I'm like that here, right? But when I'm talking like this, she can walk away. She can't walk away. You didn't see her lean back or anything either, because I do fascinate her. But you're going to have such a rep. Okay, let's see. Let's establish some of the, I'm going to use, again, the same dirty palette. Let's establish some of the cliffs and stuff going on in here. Don't really care that, again, that they're right. They just need to look like cliffs. the loosest thing I've done today. This is fun. And it is therapy. I mean, this stuff, you just can't do this with oil on acrylic. There's just no way. Those people are tight. Yeah, I love talking to plein air painters, especially because they go, "Oh, we don't do watercolor. It's so hard." I said, "Then why is your painting worth $850 at that big, and I can't get $1,000 for a big one, you little." I love giving them a bad time. Okay, we got this coming out. We're gonna put a little bit of the. They put some seals in there, but they always look like fat women, so I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, look, the one who just lost all the weight. How many pounds did you lose? I haven't seen you from like, what, December? Yeah, amazing. Okay, let's play with our sponge a little more. Where did my sponge go? Whoa, I got a lot of foam on that one. Way too much. That's the one danger with this stuff, is you gotta know how much water can go in it. Yeah, that's too dirty. Let's try another one. Oh well, silly. Yeah. 130? Okay. And wow, this is like I've hypnotized you all in the clock. Dr. Dean, the watercolor world. Yep. You guys are gonna wake up and I'll be gone for like a week. Put these in here for a reason. That does bring up quite a bit. Color. Also, if you do this technique and you use the blue tape like I did here, you always want to erase almost as much as you think it needs, because it's always going to be a little lighter. Because once you take, the blue tape is kind of a neutral color, you know, so once you take that off, it's going to look a little different. It's not like using black tape or white tape, whatever. Let's see, soften that a little bit. A little fog rolled in. That's, again, why I don't worry. Oh yeah, I can paint. Holy cow. That's why I never worry about the initial color I put in, because all of a sudden now we've got a little atmosphere. All you have to do is break the line. It's a lost edge. Hazel's like beside herself. Woo!
It's looking really good.
Thanks.
I can't believe that.
Thanks. That's why I hang with Esther, man. She's good for the ego.
I'm sorry, just to watch you slap all that stuff on there, you're like, well, what are you doing?
Tell your friends. What are you doing? Oh no, wait, never mind. I already know those women. What are you doing?
So will you finish this painting during the workshop, or will you?
No, this will be done when when it's 1:30. I'll sign it.
Oh.
Yeah, again, see, it's not about finish. This is when you come to the workshop as well. You're not going to come there to create a painting. You're going to come there to learn technique and learn thinking. This is one thing that is missing in a lot of artists, is that, and it's one of the reasons I'm not doing the blue tape thing today. Everybody's seen me do that. Nobody does it because they see me do it, and it's a lot of work. And yet, when I get into shows, if I do this, everybody's all over me. If I do that, they go, "That's not a turn painting." It's weird. I'm in this trap now where I have to tape in order for them to recognize my work. Which is kind of like, you know, Christopher Reeve playing Superman. Now he can't play Madonna, you know. Okay, we'll throw a little. Let's throw a little of the blue in there. Yeah, see, Mother Nature, she likes me. Like, does it? That's Tom Fong, man. That's Tom Fong all over the place. He even got the Hotel Del in there. Holy hell! That's kind of cool. And then we'll come over here, and we'll put a little blue in there to balance it. But I'm going to come over this a little bit. I think we're going to knock that back a bit. I'm just experimenting now. I have no clue if this is going to work, which is another thing I teach in the workshops. Most of you already know about that, but it's a good reminder. Okay, and then we're going to come up and just dirty that up a little bit. Again, lost edge. use it, and we're gonna put a little definition, I think, on the palm trees. Because if I don't finish those, that's the one little detail that I'm allowing this guy in the front. That, what's your name? Mike. Mike what? Hefner. Oh, Hefner. Yeah, I was gonna say I recognize you. Yeah, I just not with the shorts. Great painter. Newer member of Watercolor Society, right? Yeah, this guy, you need to come down. He's wonderful. Was that enough of a plug? I have no money, buddy. Man, you know, the woman, I would have at least got a phone number. Now, you can't tell anybody how I paint now, though, because they think I'm like this really good painter. This is all, you know. Close enough. Except there's one problem with the palm trees. Shoot, I only have 2. So you gotta work in odd numbers, baby. Yeah. See if I do this. Wow, only 1 giggle. I must be filling out. As long as Mike's not giggling, I'm okay with it. Yeah, I know it'll dry up, but those are way in the distance, so I don't have to get real crazy with them. Oh yeah, and then this typical watercolor quality. Yeah, you always gotta put birds in there now. That way, it doesn't matter how good it comes out. Everybody's going, oh, he's got birds. It's a seascape. That one had like 20 of them. Those were the 3F birds. Every time I screwed up, I put a 3-bird thing in there, and I'm going, so you can count the birds by how many times I think I ruined the painting. Okay, let's get dark in the front, Dad. No? Who said no? Oh, okay. Yeah, Hazel go, no, it wasn't me, I swear. She knows the rap. And let's throw a little burgundy in there. That's kind of cool. Oh, baby. Esther's holding her stomach in right now, I can tell. What did you do? That was looking good. You just ruined it. Then she gives you that smile and you can't be mad at her. There's that rock coming out. See it, Bob? Is he sleeping? I always try and get Bob across from me when I do demos at the fair, because he sits there, just plods along, does these magnificent things. Last time we were up together, I think it was last year or the year before, he, I love his, what do I like about yours? Beach scenery. No, your trees and, you know, like the East County stuff. Love it. And so I decided I had like 30 people watching me, so I said, you know, go over and see Bob. Let's just freak him out. Bob's concentrating, you know, he's quiet, doesn't need to make a fool out of himself. You know, he's got me for that. And I sent everybody over there, and he's doing a seascape. I'm going, no, trees, Bob. Come on, do a tree. That's what I sent him over there for. Jeez, nice guy, but very uncooperative. Now I own about, let's see, I think I have about 5 of your paintings now. That's the first time he's heard that. I've been secretly lying. Okay. So we got that red going. Let's put a little bit here. And not great for the brush, but we want it to be. That up and down. Just go straight off with the red up there. Some smart person in the room is going to say, well, I thought you said you could have to put reds in the front to bring your eye forward, you know. But I'm only doing that to debate them. Let's see, I've got the, that wasn't for you, Dottie, that was just me trying to get under something. I got to put in this cardboard, corrugated cardboard. This is really cheap stuff. I got this from somebody. I'm not sure I like it. It doesn't hold paint well, but we'll see how this works. See, Mother Nature went, no, 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 I don't want lines. Yeah, because you guys thought I was going to forget that, huh? I'm looking at the clock. I'm on it. But again, it's another way of painting where Mother Nature comes in and helps you out. We're gonna, I have no clue what's going on here. We're just gonna throw some of this in there. Let's say right in here. This is why I don't like this cardboard. It's not real predictable. I need that part to be predictable. Probably Chinese cardboard. Hate those people. They don't know how to make cardboard. My international showpiece, in fact, it's actually showing at the Fallbrook Arts Center right now. I think that's the award winner. Yeah, 5 Sales at Dusk. I did this whole painting like this where it was just the same exact thing, dark colors, cardboard. I had kids around me, so I was very angry. And atmosphere is everything to me. Sorry.
Okay.
It wasn't that funny. Or is that why you did that? The appropriate line would be, yeah, sometimes your jokes are a little hard to swallow, Chuck. Again, who would make a red reflection in an ocean? That just doesn't make any sense. But, you notice what I'm doing again? Triadic, okay? And again, the more I push this painting, the better it'll be, but I don't have the time, so. I might bring it to the workshop, I don't know. Normally if I get a painting along a ways, I don't really bring it in and finish it up. You guys don't care. It's like, yeah, you want to do your own thing. Dixie Cynthia used to say, just shut up and paint. Yes, dear. Yeah, that's an interesting thing. Okay, let's see. Okay, now we're going to establish the little, whatever those houses are over there. Let's take a little brown, little green, little red, mud. Again, painting sideways because I don't want to make it something recognizable maybe. All I'm looking for is the balance in the composition, maybe. It's going to be a little more, I'm an ex-architect, so I need to have something a little straight. And let's see, where's the rigger brush? I feel like I'm going to be assassinated walking across the plastic. It's like a lethal weapon thing. No, we're repainting the office. This is where the rigger brush works really well. School bus. And to keep it interesting, charge it a little bit. Ooh, that's fun. Like that. Cool. Okay. It's a door, but now all of a sudden it's an abstract shape. You know, it's kind of cool. See, it's a surprise every time. This is the beauty of watercolor. I'm putting things in an area based on my education, but prayer works really well. It's like, you know, I've got a little bit of an idea about technique and what the watercolor probably wants to do, but until you do it, there's no way that you can control it. Otherwise, you're going to be a realist and you might as well just paint in oil. Not put oil painters down. For those who don't know me, I'm an acquired taste.
Just like we can dismiss oil painters.
Yeah, well, they piss me off. And I always tell, well, not only the plein air painters piss me off, the regular oil painters. I mean, I love a good still life and stuff, but these guys, I don't know. And it all looks the same. It's like shabby chic. Why won't that thing die? You know? It's like this movement has been around for 800 years. It's older than the Chinese movement sometimes. And it just won't go away. And same thing with plein air. Everybody does it well now. Everybody paints good plein air. That's when it's time to move on. Do something new. But not watercolor. It's too hard. I think I'm proving that it's not really. Kinda. I don't know. How am I doing?
I don't like the black line in the middle of the surf.
Oh, where did that come from? Good point, Donnie.
Other than that,
Yeah, I'm gonna have to make that a really big surfboard. Well, let's see. Let's get rid of it, shall we? Yeah, that sucks. Where did that come from? Probably when I moved the, of course, that means my surf isn't coming in. The high tide is now gone. Now I'm painting with the thing. And look how much nicer a painting that is. Surf looks like it's kind of slowing down, doesn't it? That's very cool. I love this stuff. I hope it's not like toxic. Okay, now the fun part for Chuck is he's learning how to paint people. God, it's a real disaster lately. So let's see. Can't put them in the surf. They've got to be on the beach somewhere. So we got little. Wow, she needs to go see Jenny Craig. Well, actually, no. I date that one. Yeah, except she filled out during the war. Yeah, these guys, I mean, they're too far away to really have any impact, but again, it's a little noise in there. And again, it's just a demo. I don't ever care about a demo because it's what I'm trying to impart rather than what I'm actually able to do. Yeah, that's a big woman. Jeez.
There are a few of us.
I like them. The problem is I can't let that show in my painting because then people go, oh, you like this one. Yeah.
How come it's not a big man?
Because
Small.
the shoulders are kind of rounded, so it's like he's like not a Marine. Which would be appropriate because it's an ocean scene, but you know, we're just not gonna. Okay, we got 4 people. Let's see, we need a kid. Not that I'm putting the kid next to the woman because. And we'll do a few kids. And then the one little kid that would be Chuck running out into the surf. No, Chuck, come back! Running in the surf, you little snot. Yeah, that's actually working out pretty good. Did the line bother you still, or are we okay with it?
No.
I know it's still there, but.
It's still there, but it's much better. It's just a black line.
Because I wouldn't be able to sleep tonight.
No,
That
because
is-
a black line would turn beautiful color.
That's true. Oh, speaking of black lines, for that, we gotta. Again, no fear. Should be using my rigger brush for this, but. Wow, that's fun. I don't mean to say that like I'm surprised, but it's okay. You guys have heard all the lines now. Let's see, let's put a little bit, oh, that's how that happened. I just did it again. That's interesting. I gotta remember to pull my brush in more. Usually that gets bigger than that. Oh, it's because I don't have my 5-inch brush out. That's why. A little green in there. A little bit of green around the houses. Yeah, and I'm just suggesting this stuff because eventually, I mean, this is the same technique I used here, but I don't have the time, so we're just gonna go. This is shorthand for watercolor. See an oil painter do this. Of course, I did paint with Rich Sturgills up in Fallbrook. That guy's amazing. Oil portrait guy, does plein air and stuff too. Really cute. So he's got all these women in his workshops and stuff. And boy, he works it good. But amazing painter. I mean, this guy's. You look him up on the. In fact, I think I've got a link on my art page that has him there. We did demo paintings. It was supposed to be a plein air event up in Fallbrook a few weeks ago, and it was during that really heavy rainstorm where everything was going sideways. So nobody showed up for the plein air thing, and they asked us, well, would you guys want to come in and paint for the, yeah, sure, I'm all over it. I drove 50 miles to go up there. Might as well. And we ended up auctioning the paintings off, and we raised $1,025 for the people. It was fun, because I told them ahead of time, I said, I'm not going to finish this, I got an hour and a half, and they didn't care. I'm going, cool, I like you people. Now let's go all the way down. Now we're starting to design. Those are working out pretty good. Let's throw a little, we got our line in there. A little 3D going. How are we doing on the sign-ups for the workshop?
We have 16.
Oh, by the way, put 2 more down. I got 2 people that didn't even care. They just wanted to paint with me. A couple people from the Watercolor Society told me they want to be out. Wait, was it $25? What's the fee?
It's 25 for members and 30 for
Okay, they can afford the
non-members.
extra 3. Yeah, Linda Galbraith, and I don't remember the other gal's name. But if you'll put those down for me as being in the thing, I told them I'd reserve for them today.
Miss No Name?
Linda too. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I can't remember. Yeah, I don't have time. Not that I have anything to prove. But you gotta, whoop. See, same thing. I did that again. It's like, pull it in, Sean.
When you're doing that, what's in your head? Are you thinking Cliff's?
Rice cakes. No, she can ask that question because she's now an art owner. She owns a shop. Yes, go
Are you
ahead.
thinking cliffs, or are you thinking what balances with the painting?
Well, I guess if I had to phrase it, I would call it peripheral painting. Nobody's ever used that before. That's a great phrase, I like it. Because I'm looking at the detail, I'm playing, and I'm hoping you guys are entertained, but at the same time, my peripheral vision is looking at everything, and the balance part is not, I mean, don't look at how I dress, look at how I paint. And all it is about when you go to a gallery and you see a painting, like this painting has a way different temperature of subject matter than this one does. But if you really study them, they're the exact same technique, okay? And the only difference is that this one's way more complicated in 40 hours than 2 hours, okay? That's where the difference is. So I could have taken that into that if I wanted to spend the time. But yeah, that's a great question, actually. I try not to think. The more I think, the more trouble I get in. That was my ex-wife that just said. Okay, and we'll throw a little bit of that, we'll charge it a little bit, just because. That's kind of fun. We'll leave it a little bit in the back there. Okay, 5 more minutes here. Let's see. Let's throw in some darker greens. Great question. You didn't mind me putting on you on the spot, did you? Good, because now I got proof. Again, timing's everything. This is still kind of wet. More detail, blah, blah, blah. See, that's really finished. Again, if you're looking at Tom Fong painting, that's way overpainted for Tom Fong, you know? And I got enough information. You know there's like cabanas with funky red tile roofs and that type of thing. We don't care that it's La Jolla. I love how this is working here. But I'm liking that this is sap green, just straight out. So I'm thinking we're gonna stick some over there as well, just because we can. Oh look, foliage, cool. Just okay, now I want to bring a little bit in the front, because again, it's all about the balance. Ooh, baby. As I can, a little water. That fill in there, what the heck? Again, I'm thinking abstractly. Thinking we need a little more grass. As they say in the 60s. This is why they ask me back. They don't care about how I paint, they just love the banter. And if it's not true, don't tell me. Because that's why I show up. Well, that, and I'm afraid of Esther. What's it need, Esther?
Signature.
Good answer. I didn't know you could throw your voice. That's pretty cool. Okay, this brings me to another point about how you paint, is that, and this is something that nobody else will tell you, you always have to consider, wow, that's not bad. You always have to consider the signature as part of the composition, especially mine, because with the ego I've got it. Yeah. You can't find a signature in the quiet morning, because I did it in yellow on a yellow sky. So it's really, it's big, but it's kind of subtle. Yeah. And yet it's a Chuck McPherson NWSSCW. It's kind of a pain, but I'm proud to have them. And same thing with this. I mean, I use pencil, which I use a lot, and just put it in there. Originally, this painting was all white down here. And when I showed it to my objective friends, they said, you know, I'm not happy with the white. So I took that light green and I did it everywhere here. That was like an afterthought. And they were right. It worked. I think that's what this means. See, now this, again, this is intuitive. As soon as I talk about that on the other painting, I'm going, yeah, that's kind of what this needs too. Again, don't be afraid to put color down. Oh, baby. See, this is when you just want to go, it's not an ego thing, it's just, thank God that worked. Same thing here. The white is, this is okay, but it's kind of like not friendly. You know, I want it to be friendly like that. So we're just going to put a little tiny glaze without losing, look at that. I mean, good Lord. Yeah, that's just, that's a good point. It glows. The white, it's not Mexican shore water, it's American shore water. And that's where you have to be really careful, because that's where you'll lose it.
It's that special plankton.
Yes, exactly, that we're all going to be driving with. I love Bates County. Yeah, that's nice. That'll work. And the red's okay, but I think, please, Lord. Yeah, I didn't say please right. Ah, that's what we need to do. Let's drop it down like that. And again, that's where the secret to my success is the more I glaze, the richer the thing gets, the more interesting it gets. Seawater out there, we're going to put a little bit in there. This is starting to work pretty cool. See, you guys didn't think it was going to be finished today. Surprise! Again, I can screw it up from here. Yeah, baby. See, look at all of a sudden we got, that's Hawaii, you know, baby. Okay, so back to my original point. Now I got to figure out where to sign this puppy.
Scott.
Yeah.
Someplace left.
Yeah, I'll sign it on the back.
Lower right.
Lower right as it sits.
No. No.
Lower right.
No.
Wow, everybody, all of a sudden you're Republicans, the party of no. And no, that wasn't an insult, that was a funny hint.
And that looks like the lake is on the bottom. You know, it's right down.
A medieval torture device? What did you just say?
It looks like a little village on the left.
It is, it's a tribute to Hillary Clinton. Wow, I'm just on it today. I just decided that was too much white. We don't care. You know, the nice thing about watercolors, they always say, well, you gotta hold the whites. Yeah, kinda. But that's also why I got started with the 5-inch, or with the 2-inch tape. Because I couldn't hold a white to save my soul. And I'm competing with all these people like June Maxian and Jim Millard who can. And I'm going, how do I catch up with them? So I cheated. I put the white tape down, but you'll notice I still don't hold a lot of whites. But it's a good way to start. Let's give that. Oh yeah, baby. Yeah, everybody's nodding now going, yeah, man, do it. Sorry, I had to. Okay, yep, that'll, leave it alone, Chuck. Stop. Okay, and if you get another lesson, like the last lesson, because we're there, if you get this kind of water at the bottom, you got to be really careful because that's what we call flowering. It'll hit the edge of the paper and come back up into the painting. Sometimes I do that on purpose and let it flower because it's interesting. But in this case, they're going to go, yeah, he's an idiot. You have how many awards? You haven't learned much, have you? No, I don't care. I get awards. So just a couple passes. Right at the edge. I'm not touching the front of the paper because I don't want that to go away. And then we let gravity do its thing so the blend. See, knocking that white out was the right answer, I think. Understand?
Yeah.
Yeah, now, yeah, it's kind of, yeah, it's, I believe, the scene now. Well, that sandpaper's really showing up in the sky, too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Once that dries back a little bit, again, it'll be, that area right there will be about as light as this is. So, because I use the same kind of strength up there. Yeah, go ahead.
So we put that golden color in the far right corner.
Sure. Get your ass up out of the chair. Remember, be free. Don't just fill it in. Be free. Be the Chuck. If you turn around and you don't have paint on your blouse, I'm going to be really happy.
Yeah, really, smart.
Not a girl. Thank you. See? No ownership, right? That's a perfect thing. I can save it from there. Yeah, I only did that because you asked me to. See? Look at the nice, that was nice. I like that. And again, we've got the triad going. Yeah, we finished the people and all that kind of stuff, but we don't care. Now, having looked at it for a while, I think, balance is still, I've been off balance for years, but now it's physical. Okay, signature. I want to put it in Dottie's area, just camouflage it, I'm not going to. Okay, Bob, where do I sign it?
Lower right.
Bitchin'. Yeah, it's too dry. Now the funny thing is, when that gets reproduced, they'll always put it horizontally, because everybody follows the signature, the idiots. But you notice how it's camouflaged, you know, unless you really go up and look for it, that signature's not there. And the nice thing is, I mean, that's a huge, I have big loops. Bigger than yours, actually. Yeah. Earrings, guys. But that's a big signature for watercolor. But I count on the loops to be large like that just to tell them that, yes, I'm Chuck, you need to listen to me. I like making noise. But it doesn't interrupt any of that movement because it's camouflage. It's at a 50-50 in the value range when you get back into the values again. If I sign it in a light area or something, then it's all about the signature. It shouldn't be. Come up when I'm done basically, but come up and look at that signature. It'll show you it's still flamboyant, but it's quiet. Okay? Thanks, guys.
Is there anybody else? Anyone else want to sign up for the workshop? It's over here.
It said to put the check, but where?
In my hand.
Yeah, it said to put a check.
So you bring it on the workshop.
Thank you. Hard stuff that you, so fun not having to practice that process. Don't leave yet.
Are you taking care of it or something? Yeah, John had to watch it really closely.
When you see the match,
It's interesting stuff.